Hello everybody, this is Roberto Parker with Innovative Sports Training. It is time for Health Detective Talk. Let me ask you a question. Does one size fit all relative to the way you eat, exercise, how active you are? That is today's topic. Does one size fit all? And let me just give you the answer up front. No, it does not. Let me ask you another question. Since about 1970, some of you may not have even been born then, but that's okay. How many books have been written on diet, lose weight, tone up? How many books have been written on exercise programs? Probably more on diet and exercise. But my suspicion is that you've probably had tens of thousands of books written on diet, maybe even hundreds of thousands on diet and exercise combined together. Who's right and who's wrong? Well, let me just say this. They're not really right and they're not really wrong because there's probably a little bit of truth in everything that they've talked about. But it doesn't apply to everybody. I've always had this philosophy. No matter what type of a program you have in a large group setting, that is why in my practice here now, I actually prefer doing small groups in a large group setting. No matter what you're doing in an exercise program, or this also applies to eating and a diet and nutritional plans, 1/3 of that segment will reap benefits from the program you put them on. 1/3 will not reap any benefits, and the other third is somewhere in the middle, indifferent. So that's really only about 1/3 of the whole population that is really truly benefiting from a program that you're developing if you're doing a one-size cookie-cutter-fits-all type of approach. In other words, it doesn't work for most people. So let's go into more detail. Let me go to my whiteboard here. Here are some factors that play into the way you should eat, the way you should exercise, how much recovery you have, how much sleep you're going to get. So all these factors play into that. Nutrition. Now today everybody's heard about the big keto wave. I'm not opposed to keto. I do a little bit of that myself at times. You have keto, you have vegan, you have paleo, and you have SAD, which is the standard American diet. Each one of these has their plus and minuses to them. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in each one of these. I don't have that kind of time. I want to make this kind of fairly short today. I've done talks, health detective talks on these before. Keto is high fat. Vegan is mainly vegetarian. You're not eating any animals. So if you don't like eating animals or killing animals or harming animals, more power to you. God bless you. Paleo is just a lighter version of keto. It's more protein. SAD, SAD, is just high carbs. Now, if you recall, years and years ago, everybody talked about back in the 80s and 90s, more carbs was the big thing, right? Now it's more fat. Once again, who's right and who's wrong? It all depends on the person. It all depends on your individual biochemistry. Another one, exercise. Now, there's different types of exercise modalities. Circuit training, strict weightlifting, yoga, Pilates, jogging, Tai Chi. I could probably lift a few more things, but I think that covers probably 89% of the type of programs out there. Some people respond better to circuit training. Some people are going to respond more to weightlifting, like myself. Some people are going to respond more to yoga and Pilates. Some people are going to respond well to more cardiovascular training, like jogging. And some people are going to respond better to Tai Chi, which is more mind-muscle movement. Slow movements. Everybody's different. You've got to find which one works best for you. Just like the nutritional program. In many cases, you can go through different combinations of these things. You can mix and match. Another component. What type of background do you have? Were you a competitive athlete? If you are, and you like to exercise, chances are you're going to respond to certain types of exercises faster than a person who was not a competitive athlete. You just have that thing about you. You have those those nervous system engrams. You have the coordination, you have the balance, you have those motor pathways working for you because you are a competitive athlete. Now what if you're more of a recreational athlete? Recreational athlete meaning that you like to work out maybe in the weekends, you like to go for walks, hikes, maybe do a little canoeing, a little kayaking, a little paddleboarding, maybe a little bicycling, maybe get involved in some basketball tournaments with your buddies. So you're more of a recreational athlete. And by the way, going back to competitive athlete, you could be a current competitive athlete or have the background of a competitive athlete. Both of these categories are going to respond a little bit more to certain types of exercise, in particular weightlifting and maybe even circuit training. Now, what if you're a desk jockey? You just sit at the desk all day long and you don't have any sort of athletic background. You're not going to respond as quickly to certain types of modalities of exercise and possibly even nutritional programs. Now, another component is gender. Men versus women. Ladies, I'm sorry, you're not going to respond as well to certain types of exercises as men do. Men can do the same workout as you and have the same eating plan as you, and chances are they're going to lose weight faster and gain muscle quicker because of this thing called testosterone. That doesn't mean now, ladies, that you cannot get to that level, what your goals are to lose weight, tone up, or vice versa, or whatever you're trying to do. You just have to do it differently than a man because both of you have different types of hormones working for you. The autonomic nervous system type, I kind of abbreviated there. Are you parasympathetic or are you sympathetic? Now, I did a topic on this just a few weeks ago in one of my health detective talks. Look that up. It's called Training Based on Your Personality and Your Sympathetic Type. A parasympathetic person is a person who's more relaxed, is a person who's more rest and digest dominant. A sympathetic person is someone who's not as relaxed, who's very competitive, who's very hyper, and they're more fight or flight type of personality. That will determine the type of exercise and nutritional program you should be doing in your lifestyle, because it's going to be different for both of these. Lab readings. Now this is where I come in quite a bit here. I will look at your lab results if you work with me individually. I'm going to look at cortisol, hemoglobin A1C, insulin, human growth hormone, testosterone, and estrogen, ladies. I'm going to see if you're pre-menopause, peri-menopause, or post-menopause. I'm going to look at those because that will, especially for ladies, that will determine the type of exercise and the type of nutritional plan that you should be doing relative to your cycle, if you're premenstrual, relative to if you're perimenopause, relative to if you're menopause or post-menopause. Your training program, your eating program is going to be totally different. Now, other factors. Genetics. Now, at one time, science thought that genetics was a huge factor in how we come out in terms of our health and our fitness, our propensity to get diseases. But now we find that it's not genetics, it's more epigenetics, which is basically your lifestyle. That plays a factor. But genetics will play a factor. If both your parents were 5'5", chances are you're not going to be an NBA athlete. Chances are you won't be. That doesn't mean you can't be fit and healthy, but you probably won't be playing in the National Basketball Association. Sorry. So genetics is a factor. Sleep, big factor. Now just because it says other factors, now don't think these are not important because these are very important factors. How much sleep are you getting? I'd say most people don't sleep qualitatively. And that is because something's going on up here, nutritionally, exercise, some sort of stress is pulling them down. It could be work, it could be training too much, it could be not eating the right type of foods. That will affect your sleep. Time commitment. I abbreviated there also. Time commitment. How much time are you willing to put in to learn more about your body and your health? Relative to, once again, the type of food you need to eat, the type of activity you need to engage in, the type of background you have, finding out what your lab readings are. I mean, you already know if you're a man or woman, so that doesn't take much research there, obviously, but type of autonomic type that you are. Guys, you take all of these different categories here, and what you have is this. It's all called biochemical individuality. One size does not fit every one of these categories. I might have a person who responds better to keto, better than vegan, or better than paleo, or better than standard American diet. That same person loves to lift weights. That same person has a competitive background, athletic background. That same person is a man. That same person is more sympathetic. That same person maybe has low insulin and high HGH. Now, let's take another type scenario. I might have another person who's on the SAD diet. They love to jog. They're a desk jockey during the day, but they love to jog still. They're female. They're parasympathetic. They have high cortisol, and they have low estrogen. That's not a good makeup, necessarily. And actually, the first one wasn't either. But it's all different, guys. It's all relative to your lifestyle. Come to me, guys, and we'll sit down and we'll go over an assessment plan with you. I will go over something that's going to be trial and error now. It won't happen in one day. We're going to go over your nutritional habits, your exercise habits, your background, your gender, your autonomic type, other type of factors, lab readings. We're going to go over all of these things, and we're going to come up with a program that best fits you, that you will have great success on. I look forward to working with you. My number is 816-405-7703. My email is rwpsports@yahoo.com. Please look me up, guys. This has been Roberto Parker with another Health Detective Talk. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.